Wednesday, 2 days from now, to get back to me. I'm out quite a bit of money with this project, personally. And I'm just trying to recoup some of the money in order to find a resolution for this. It's been really frustrating on my end across the board, but I met with the owner. He's looking into either an insurance policy or something they might have, or they signed the permit and are are responsible for, and from my eyes, I guess. But anyways, they are looking into finding a way to recoup some of the money that I'm out. That being said, once that happens, it's kind of at their discretion to find a way to remove or take down the structure. And that's where I'm at. If not, then it turns into like a 3-year legal battle, and that's not what I want to get into, because like I said, I'm out of exorbitant amount of money out of my pocket, and I'm just trying to recoup that and find a way to get the structure moved, gone, down, something like that. So it's been taking me since end of June to do this. And like I said, I finally ruffled enough feathers that the owner of the company came out with me. That's where I'm at. Have questions?
Any questions?
Did he give you an idea of how long it'd be before?
I told him I wanted a resolution by this Wednesday. So that gives him a week to look into his either insurance or whatever he wants to do. I told him I'd buy another structure. I mean, I'm a little willing. I just would like to find a way to recoup my money. I feel like I did everything in my power to do what was right on my end, and kind of got me burned. And it's an expensive lesson that I learned.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Anything else?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'll have like I said, if you want me to reach out to one of you guys or Adam or something, when I hear from him, I don't know what the next course of action is, what you guys would prefer. So
Yeah,
with Adam, you'll
just have the builder, whatever he's got to do to talk to his insurance company, and they talk to each other.
right. That's what I've been trying to do for
Okay.
quite a while now. So, all right, I'll get with Adam and update you, and you can go from there.
All
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, council to consider adopting a resolution number 2022-12A, approving the tax increment financing TIF area for the Ridgeview West Apartments. Adam.
All right, so for this particular item, essentially it's part of the ongoing procedure to establish a new tax increment financing district, or TIF district, for the geographic area in which the Ridgeview West Apartments would be constructed. And it will also, in addition to creating the TIF district, the plan is to have the bond package approved by the end of this year. So there are a number of different steps under state law that Alex and Dennis Otten with Alex's firm have assisted the town with. Number of different documents had to be approved by the redevelopment commission, the town council, even the plan commission. With this specifically, what this board or this resolution does before you tonight is you're basically reaffirming everything that has already been adopted by the RDC and the plan commission. Secondly, there's also 2 other items that are related to it. Your next item will be for first reading for the actual ordinance itself, which has some of the specifics on the bond language. And then there's also a basic economic development agreement in your packet that outlines terms. And so it's a $2 million bond. And the idea is that, again, the bond, it's not a general obligation bond, it's a bond. So it's just taking the revenue that is collected from that particular property towards paying off that bond over time. And simply put, once the bond is issued, the developer would look to sell that bond to investors in order to get capital for the project. So in a nutshell, that's how it will work. And then later this month at your meeting on the 19th, if you were to approve these items here tonight, at the 19th is when the redevelopment commission will have a special meeting. The Economic Development Commission, EDC, as we've used before, we'll have a meeting, and as will council. So bottom line is there are a number of different steps. Alex's firm has outlined a timeline as to what needs to happen and when in order to meet the bond closing this month. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to address them. And of course, Alex can chime in as well. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to consider resolution 2022-12A and resolution of the town council of the town of Fortville, Indiana, approving a declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the town of Fortville Redevelopment Commission, establishing the Fortville Ridgeview West Economic Development Area, and 2, the order of the Fortville Plan Commission related thereto.
Before we take that vote, I forgot to ask, is there any public comment on the TIF area? Okay. Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose?
Nay.
Yeah, I just have it. Thank you. All righty, going to the third on the new business. Council to consider first reading of ordinance number 2022-12A, establishing the assurance of the TIF bond for Ridgeview West Apartments projects. Adam, sorry.
Yeah, so this is just a follow-up item, the actual ordinance for which would establish the issuance of the TIF bonds themselves. And so again, this is just the introductory reading. The second reading is, again, if first reading were to be held tonight, second reading would be on the 19th. And that would coincide with basically when all the administrative matters are handled for this closing, and then the actual closing where they sit down at the table, sign all the paperwork would happen soon thereafter.
Any questions? Public comment? Okay, can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to consider ordinance 2022-12A. This is first reading, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the town of Fortville, Indiana taxable economic development revenue bonds for Ridgeview West project and providing the proceeds thereof to Hudson Investing LLC or an affiliate or permitted assignee thereof, and authorizing and approving other actions in respect thereto.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, first I want to apologize for not getting this on the agenda earlier. We have been talking about this probably for what?
We do one more thing that's related to that. Adam mentioned the development agreement that was part of, or I think was attached with that ordinance. It's the same structure as the agreement that we had with the MVAH project. If you flip through it, it's not too lengthy. It essentially lays out what we've been talking about, that the town's willing to go through these paces to issue the bonds. The bonds are supported by TIF revenue that will be generated by this project. If the project falls short on that revenue, then the payments from the TIF proceeds will, be short and their schedule will be adjusted so that it's not a risk to the town. It's based on what their project will generate. It also states that the bond issuance costs, or the cost for my law firm, for Buzz's firm, will be covered by the bond proceeds. Again, same format and substance as we've had for the MVAH. And so what I would ask is that the council's comfortable with it, that they would authorize Fritz to sign the final version of that. Hudson's attorney, Russell Brown, you probably remember him from meetings in the fall. He's reviewing it now as well. I suspect he'll sign off on it and we'll be ready for Fritz's signature soon.
Did you need a,
I make a motion to allow Fritz to make that signature.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you.
This is for the resolution that we just did.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, we'll talk about what we're talking about is redistricting, Fortville. For a long time, Winding Ridge and Timber Ridge, no. Flat Rock were in the same district in number one. Number one district is a lot bigger now than number two. So what we decided, well, this had been going on probably for what, maybe a month or so, but we did not know it had to be a vote tonight to get it started for May. The problem is we're up against a clock because we in 6 months is the next primary. So it kind of caught us off guard. So we're going to talk about where the dividing line is going to be, where we're going to shift a Flat Rock into two, leaving Winding Ridge into one. Okay. And so it splits it up. So it's separate.
From Ohio Street now to the tracks.
Yeah. I mean, Flat Rock goes into two and then Winding Ridge.
Winston.
Wait a minute. No. Windstone stays in one and then Flat Rock goes into two. Sorry.
Yeah, so the Fortville has two districts, 1 and 2, and the dividing line currently is Ohio Street. And so all we're doing is making that adjustment to the tracks. And that's going to, by default, then move, essentially, the biggest component of that is moving Flat Rock, then moves from District 1 to District 2. That's the most significant change.
Right. And so what it does is it just evens out the population. Now we know maybe and the next election will be another 2 or 3 years. We might have to readjust. It all depends on which development goes gangbusters and builds more houses or apartments or whatever, then we'll make an adjustment again, maybe in a couple of years.
This is
Okay?
based on the 2020 census, so the new subdivisions that were annexed in after 2020 are not included on this until the next census, so which will also change the look of the district as well. For District 1, it'll grow again once that happens.
Okay, so let me go ahead and get it on the agenda because I didn't want to just blindside people. Okay.
Looking for a motion.
Yeah, let's make a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to consider ordinance 2022-12B. An ordinance concerning redistricting of town council districts.
A second.
But any discussion? Before was that just to get it on? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
First read.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, any discussion on this that I just kind of put in a synopsis real quick?
I don't. So are we going to old business?
Well, what I want to do is, first, if there's any public comment on the redistricting, I know nobody's prepared for it, but
Now it's just first read, so we'll get again on the second.
it'll be another reading, in 2 weeks. Okay.
All right, we going to old business? I'm gonna make a motion to recess the regular council meeting and open up a public hearing in order to discuss item 4A. Council to hold a public hearing regarding amendment of ordinance 2022-11A pertaining to the rates and charges of the residential trash collection service. Joe?
You want me to run with it? Okay. The trash contract that we are currently under is a 5-year contract. This is the last year of it. We did go out to bids. We got new bids in, new contract. So the fees that we charge now have to be amended to match what the new contract amount is going to be to help cover those costs. And so what we've got this evening, I guess we're in a public hearing now, right? So if anybody wants to speak on this, but what we've done is the fees that we got right now, I think is $10.86 a month for trash pickup. Those fees for today were set 5 years ago. So as of next year, as starting January, what's being proposed is that rate will go up $3.19. So it'll go up to 14.05. And then the next 4 years will go up an average of about 60 cents a year. So as of 2027, the monthly trash rate will be 16.47 per tote through the town. But that's what's being proposed, and that's what we've got an ordinance for this evening to have it approved. So if anybody's got any comments on that.
That doesn't seem like it's jumped that much in 5 years.
I actually feel like we did pretty good 5 years ago. To be
Yeah.
able to-
Only going up $3.19.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is the same company. They were the low bid
Well, they got bought.
and they got bought, yeah.
So technically it's the same company, but they got bought by somebody else.
Waste management now.
Do any public comment on the trash? Okay.
I'll make a motion, we recess or we close the public hearing and reopen the regularly scheduled town council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you. Now we got to make a motion to, okay, go on to number B.
Mhm.
Okay, old business, B, council to consider the adoption of ordinance number 2022-11A pertaining to the rates and changes of residential trash collection service. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-11A, an ordinance of the town of Fortville, Hancock County, Indiana, amending the ordinance governing the collection and disposal of trash, garbage, and refuse within the town of Fortville, Indiana.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, Chief Patrick Bratton is addressed to council regarding addition of administrative assistant for the police department. Patrick?
Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me and see me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I apologize for not being there, but after 2.5 years, I finally got kicked by COVID. So here I am. As you all know, my number one goal when I became chief was to get more officers on the streets and keep them on the streets for officer safety concerns. And just general welfare and safety of the public. A lot of our time, the officers are called back to the office to do some minuscule tasks, whether I'm in a meeting or something like that. I try to fill in where I can, but it's a lot of times it's just to get a report or a copy of a crash report or answer a general question or something like that. I've talked with Beth about a part-time administrative assistant, and she, I believe, worked it in the budget. But I would like for your approval to hire a part-time administrative assistant so we can keep the officers on the streets and not coming back to the office to do some of that minuscule stuff for 2023 and moving forward. Maximum of 25 hours a week, and then pay up to $20 an hour. I wanted to get that in there before the salary ordinance was approved. Or if it was going to be approved tonight, I don't know, but I know we were talking about it, so. I'm open for comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever you'd like.
Pat, this is Robert, how many permits would you say, or are you tracking, are being done on a weekly basis? You said this was approved, or you're requesting rather, for 25 hours per week, not to exceed, correct?
Correct. So it's not only just permits, it's people coming in to get a copy of an accident report, people coming in to get a fingerprint card done, people wanting, copies of police reports, or they need a background check done. There's a lot of little tasks that tie up the officers throughout the day to get those things. And then they get called in off the street, which, I try to help out where I can, but if I'm in a meeting or if I'm in the middle of something else, I generally have to have them come in to take care of that. So I don't know how many per week. I know I do probably 15 to 20 background checks a week. On some weeks maybe only 5 or 6, but if another agency is having a hiring process or the DOD is getting ready to hire a bunch of people, anybody that's ever lived in the town of Fortville, we have to do a background check on them. So we get quite a few of those along with requests for accident reports and things like that. And I also think it'll help with directing some of the citizens on what they need to do, where they need to go. Just have a general directory and knowledge of the police department in the area, because a lot of times people will just show up to us and say, oh, we need a vehicle release. And the officer comes in off the street to do the vehicle release, and it's actually from Ingalls or McCordsville. So it takes their time to do that research to find that, where if someone was there that could pull that information, that we could eliminate some of that time off the streets.
Absolutely. You just mentioned what I was going to say. I'm all in favor of keeping our folks on the street as often as they can, especially how, you've
Sure.
succeeded, right? Exactly. In filling those roles. We want to keep them out there as long as we can. My questions, I guess, were, well, you started to mention on one. So, it kind of comes and goes in spurts, right? So any plans for what this person would do when there's not permits coming in? Like you said, some weeks may only be 5 or something like that, but what do you have planned for this individual in those downtimes? Are they going to be shared with other duties, or?
They are going to be doing our NIBRS, which is the National Bureau of Reporting Statistics. They'll be taking care of all that. So they'll look at all the crimes. They have to report it to NIBRS monthly. They'll assist with doing the monthly reports. They will be our liaison for other departments. Prosecutor's office calls us, not calls us. I get 2 or 3 emails a day. Any arrest that we have to do, the prosecutor's office needs all their discovery, which the officers then have to come back to the office, download their body cam, get the report, and then take a copy down to the prosecutor's office or get it set up for a drop off, which we currently have now on Fridays, because I don't want the officers having to drive to Greenfield every day to drop off stuff for the prosecutor's office. But this person will be preparing that information also on any arrest to get the whole packet ready for the prosecutor's office for discovery. Just general assistant in the police department world. So there's a lot of tasks to do. I've jotted down a job description with a lot of those tasks involved in it. I'd be willing to share. Fritz had asked me for that, and I'd send it over to him, and what I thought I needed to include. But I can send that out to everybody if you'd like, that you can take a look and see what all my plans are with that. And then just basic police inquiry questions. And they would have to be NCIC and IDAC certified so they could get into the police reporting systems and software to be able to pull those reports, redact any information out of those reports that needs to be redacted, all that type of stuff. So they would need to know our records management system very well.
All right. Thanks, Chief. That's all the questions I have.
That's, I think before we had 3 officers and stuff like that. So, I don't have any. So, do you have it in the budget where you have the money? You said?
It is in the budget.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Can I get a motion?
Well, are we asking to make a motion to make the ad, or would the salary ordinance address that?
I think either way, you could do both.
It would be both.
Okay, I mean, maybe we just memorialize it that way,
Right.
right? I'll make a motion to approve Chief Bratton's request to add a part-time employee not to exceed 25 hours and a cost of $20 per hour.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're
Thanks, Pat. I
welcome.
hope you get to feeling better.
Yeah, I'll be watching, but I probably won't. You guys don't want to hear me hacking, so I'm going to mute myself.
All righty, council to consider second reading of 2023 salary ordinance number 2022-11B. Okay,
We have a copy of that.
He emailed us. There were several.
do we have any discussion or anything or any comment?
I have no questions.
I don't have any questions either. I thoroughly looked
I
at.
appreciate you putting all those together, Joe. I know there was a lot of different versions. You gave us a lot of different options, and I appreciate that. Filled out pretty well.
So we already did the first reading on this under.
Correct. When did we do that first thing? 2 meetings?
Yeah, it was a meeting before last.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to make a motion to approve the version of our salary ordinance that would be authorizing Chief Bratton's additional part-time associate and also granting the 3% across the board on the base as we've done in the past.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Guys have it. Thank you. All righty.
Joe, you have that ordinance down there. You want to
Yeah.
pass it down to?
Libby, did you second that?
Yes.
I did.
Thank you.
All right. He's gonna pass that down for signature.
Yeah, get the right one. Pretty good.
While we're passing that down, department reports, Joe?
Yeah, I just got a couple of things to update. First of all, I want to say kudos to the Parks Department, Heath and Natalie and all their volunteers, the Friends of the Park, FAI, everybody that helped out the Winter Fest. It was a really good event. Hope everybody got a chance to go up and enjoy that, but they did a great job again. I want to remind everybody the leaf pickup, the last scheduled days that we have are this week on the 7th on the north side of the tracks. We'll be out picking up leaves. And on the 8th, we'll be on the south side of the tracks picking up leaves. And if for some reason you don't get them picked up in time, give us a call. If we still have a dumpster, we'll swing by and get them. But I don't want to make any promises because if the dumpster's gone, I've got nowhere to put them. I want to let you know too that with all the accidents we've had along Broadway, I reached out to NDOT and asked if they would look at the timing on the traffic light at Maple Street. Maybe see if they could stagger it a little bit to let all the northbound traffic go for a while and let the southbound traffic go to kind of encourage people to go to the light, have safe turns and not try to go to the side streets. They looked at it and their concern was their priority is Broadway, the state highway, and was concerned that it would slow traffic down on Broadway, and therefore they didn't feel like it was a good decision to make those adjustments.
That's what the road diet is doing, slowing traffic down.
Well, it'll be a little bit of a different design too, so. But I told you guys that I would check with them, so I wanted to report back on what I heard. And then also the 2023 meeting calendars, everybody should have a copy of that. Just wanted to make sure you all had an opportunity to look at it and you're good with it before we sent it to the newspaper and made it all official.
Any changes on it to follow the same
It's pretty
scheduling
much- yeah,
logic?
it's the
Okay.
same schedule.
So our next meeting is the 19th. Right, I'll need you to run that meeting. I'll be on vacation. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 19.
It'll be your last
Yeah.
this meeting. You get to run it.
You don't need anything on that, do you, Joe?
No, as long as you're good with the calendar, we'll go ahead and make it official.
Any questions for Joe?
I don't have any.
Any questions for Joe? Okay, thank you. Adam?
Nothing for me unless you have any questions on any of the various updates that sent out over the last,
I think I had some people asking what the VFW, have they cleaned everything up and they're just gonna start on that next year or?
no, they should be working on it now.
Okay. right,
And
I'll
so
let them-
they're gonna continue working on it. I just became aware, as a matter of fact, today, that there could be another issue they have to take a look at, basically unforeseen issues, so we don't have a lot of information on it. We don't know how much it's gonna cost. We want to sit down with the VFW and mainly with the contractor to see what the deal is.
If it does, so this, that's almost like a state release. They have to have a look at or an engineer to.
No, it's more along the lines of as they're taking material off the building and basically redoing the building because it's so old. They're discovering different things that were not apparent when that facade was there.
Right.
So unfortunately, it's kind of like.
Which
this old-
I
like this
kind of
old
knew that
house.
there'd be something. You're always gonna
uncover
find
more.
something.
Yeah,
Every time I tear my house apart, I gotta fix 5 other things.
right.
Um,
It's the same.
so
situation.
if it does go over budget, we're just gonna reach out to the just have other options.
Well, I think it's too early to say as to what the magnitude of it is, how much money we're talking about, and then who would be asked to pick up the tab for that. So, but just in full disclosure, there's a possibility that there might be some additional cost for the project, which is always disappointing. We certainly want to make sure that the project is done in a cost-effective way, cost-efficient way. So stay tuned. We'll provide more information as soon as it becomes available.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Well,
Anybody else have any
Foxford
questions?
is part of That. And are we waiting on windows
Yes.
or what?
Yes, my understanding is with Fox Garden, the only thing that we're waiting for are the windows. So all the tuck pointing has been completed, the painting has been completed. So at this point, if you recall, one of the major upgrades to that building were to have windows that would open up to the outside frontage along Main Street. So last I was told they're on back order. I don't know what the current status of that, but presumably.
It's kind of what's going on in the world right now. I mean, everything's hard to get for sure.
But we do have to close out the package with the state in the spring. So basically in March is when both projects need to be completely wrapped up. So at this point, we still believe it's doable.
So what happens if the windows aren't here by March?
Well, most likely we'd have to seek an extension from the state, which we've done before and other municipalities have done. It's not uncommon. It's just more red tape that you gotta go through, but
Nobody gets penalized for that.
No,
Okay.
mm-mm. No.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. He's not here. Joe, you have anything from Heath?
No, just Heath has got COVID as well, so he's,
Oh.
yeah, he may be out a few
I'm
days.
standing right in front of both of them.
You guys are all at the Winter Festival or over the weekend?
Joe, I saw on the vouchers, the materials for the bridge repair have arrived.
They have, and they're in the barn now and ready to be installed. So
So the bridge for the park guys, that's what.
the old material on the bridge has been all wrecked and tore off, so it's ready to go on.
So who's doing that?
Heath and, yeah, his crew.
Okay.
Missy's not here.
Can I say something
Oh.
back on the park department? I came into town the other day and was emotional about how pathetic our main street looks. So I'm sorry that I came in and vented, but I'm really sad that we didn't think about decorating Main Street and the cost or the change to the decorations that we had. They don't fit, the old decorations don't fit the new lighting. You drive around, it just really makes me depressed to walk up and down Main Street right now. And it's really no one's fault. It was talked about. And then with everything happening, I feel like it just got lost in the mess of everything that's
I make a
happening.
motion that we put you in charge of that next year.
I don't think. Talk about it. Maybe this is. So I don't know what we need to do to about it, but Heath did some research and it's expensive. So I almost called everybody and was like, bring your leftover, let's go and string them on Main Street.
I'm gonna make you the champion of that next year.
Heath already told me on that.
Yeah. Even the garland and lighting that we had from last year on the old poles is not long enough for the new poles, so it looks kind of.
How do we get something going to come up with either a new design or, just to need a committee? We always need a committee. I think Tanya's got it.
You're in charge. You're gonna chair that committee. You gotta see if
Anyone would like to volunteer?
you
New
champion,
friends come all the time.
have you champion that.
You get on that design committee and we'll come up with a budget and see what we can do.
Could you check on some grants? Santa Claus grants or something? Okay. Alex, do you have anything for us?
I don't, unless you have questions for me.
Yeah, I do. Thanks for the redistricting real quick, because we kind of like,
Yeah,
we found out we gotta get that done real quick.
yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
one of those things that it's like, whoa, this is time sensitive.
I did not know we had to have
Federal,
that
sen-
done.
and I didn't either,
this
so I
year.
apologize for that, but we've got time to get it done and it looks like the numbers support. I mean, as you provided earlier, really the statutory requirement is that there is as close to an even distribution between districts or among districts. If you want to have more than two someday, that's where we need to be. And it looked like, the work that Tanya had done, we're in the right spot, but we can nail that down at the next meeting and be fine.
Okay, well, good. Any public comment? No? Okay. Town council comments, Libby,
She went.
you already,
Let me tell you how I feel about the decorations.
we're gonna champion you that. Okay, Tanya,
No, I'm good.
Becky,
I'm good.
Robert,
I just want to second Winterfest. I thought it was great. I went down there. There was nowhere to park. And it was a lot of people, wall to wall, which is, I would say, we take that as a plus, right? And I would like to say that I think Main Street's beautiful with or without decorations. And, but it would be nice to have them, and Libby would make a great committee chair for that. I would.
I second that.
I get in on that now.
no, remind me back in September. Yes.
So, but
Also,
Maybe
the
we
Winter
don't want to
Festival, it does do a lot for Main Street, but it helps me also at Denver's. We were busy. We had a Santa breakfast when we ran out of everything. We were packed and there was standing room only. So it drew a lot of business in for us also. And the whole day we were fluctuated with business off and on.
I think it helps businesses in the whole town.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
the girls at Speedway told me they were bringing in extra people to work that day, so.
Can I get a motion?
To approve and sign vouchers.
And a second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:41.
All in favor?
I.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, my
I
God.
think we got.